Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Week 15 recap. Sitting in here with my man, Gene Fitzmagic, who was perfectly timely. Well, he was damn late. That's just fantastic is what it is. Just like the Jets. He's going to show up late to the party. It's not his fault. It's just about the Jets. And Joey's going to sit in with us tonight. I'm excited about that. His new nickname is Sleeves, in case nobody's heard about that yet. But that's a new nickname there, so I'm kind of excited about it. The team's all going to be in place and ready to go. Let's get it going here. I'm excited. It is our Tuesday night recap. Mike Beachman's already ready to go. Daniel Barry's in here ready to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gentlemen, seems like Woody and Bryson forgot we had a show, but that's always good. Good to see you both. Welcome in, Gene. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I am doing well. I think I had a good week. I think I had a good week this week.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Are you broadcasting from a toilet?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. Looks like you're broadcasting from the bathroom. So.
No, I'm in a hallway.
Okay. I'm making sure. Joey D's in house. Welcome in.
Hey, what's up? Listen, if Gene's in the hallway, I should have just moved myself into the closet. Next time I'll do it from there. Maybe it'll be better. I'll probably get better sound quality.
Yes, you would. Come out of the closet, though, at some point. Make sure.
I did set myself up for that one, but that's not too bad.
Monterey says orange shirt. Is that a brown shirt? Yeah, let's go with that. I made a public announcement on a football stream the other night about being a Browns fan. I paid my debt for the Browns to Monterey Molly. I did my thing, so we're good to go. That's a good thing there. So we're going to let's knock it out. Let's get going here. Glad you guys are with us. Joey's going to sit in Ken's spot because Ken actually didn't even make it to the show last week. Joey will be with us tomorrow night when we do our Wednesday night show along with two of our other partners. Chargers and the Raiders. This was a joke. 63-21. The Raiders just absolutely annihilated the Chargers. They're horrendous. By the way, also I should acknowledge that both Gene and Joey were inducted into Hall of Fame for our Disney community this past weekend. We're extremely proud of them. So, Sleeves, what do you got on this one?
I don't have any. No, kidding. This game was embarrassing. I mean, listen, did anyone really question whether someone was getting fired, Monday morning? I mean, after this game, it was just disgusting. First of all, the Raiders aren't that good. Sorry. They made them look like all world beaters. And, I mean, it's embarrassing, because the thing is the Chargers, and we've talked about this so many times every season, there's hope that, the Chargers will probably be one of the up and coming teams and Herbert is elite and all this other stuff,
right.
But we just never see it come. Yeah. We never see it come to fruition with Mike. I don't know. It was embarrassing. It was boring to watch the game, to be honest.
I'm surprised he wasn't fired before he got to the bus.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't get on the bus. I don't know.
I don't know.
Bad.
Eric B, welcome in. Paul Engel, welcome in. Mike Beachman also inducted. He's in our chat tonight. Acknowledge him for his induction.
Congrats, Mikey B.
An atrocious Thursday night game. Gene?
Oh, my turn? I didn't hear you call me.
Hold on, let's go. It's only you and Joey in here, and Joey already went. And I'm pretty sure the chat's not. Oh, let me check. Chat, you got anything? Nope, not pretty much. It's you.
All right. Well, all right. I didn't hear you call my name, and I was being polite. So, this was a drubbing. Rumor has it that the coach was already looking for flights on Spirit Airlines to get back home at halftime. It was one of those games. I don't think anybody was surprised that he was gone. And they go from getting shut out the week before, the Raiders, to putting up 63 points, a team record. The Raiders have been around forever, and they put up a record for most points they've ever scored ever in their team history. So kudos to the Raiders. Not only did they beat the Chargers, they did them a favor by helping them get rid of that coach a little sooner than they should have.
The funny thing is, welcome into Debbie Bernfeld and the Curtis family. Chris, hello, good to see you. The funny thing was at the halftime, the lady asked the announcer lady, I can't remember which one of the ones it was. She asked the coach, "Do you still belong as the head coach of this team?" And he was like shocked. He was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I thought that that kind of made my night.
Maybe she thought he already got his pink slip before halftime or something already.
Yep, absolutely. So on the Raiders, Woody and Gene were on the Raiders. I was on the Raiders. Bryson was on the Raiders. Everybody gets a point. Everybody gets a point on that one. And we'll just say that Joey was 6-6 this week. I don't know. We'll come up with something. You got to do what you got to do. Minnesota Vikings playing the Bengals. Bengals win this one 27-24. I said I was worried about that damn hook when we did the game, and the hook gets me. They do go over the total easily. Gene, close game, decent game.
Yeah, listen, Bengals. They made it a game. They had a hard time early, and then they turned it into a game. Browning's looking pretty good. Browning, we'll see. It's gonna be a little bit of a tougher test. They may be missing Chase next week, so we'll see. But and it's a shame they almost won it sooner. They almost didn't have they had that pick six got taken back.
Yeah.
But heck of a game.
Yep, I agree. Joey, Bengals, are they for real? What do you think?
I don't know. Sometimes, some weeks they seem to be, some weeks they're not. I mean, really, winning 27-21 or 24, 21 of the 27 were literally scored in the fourth quarter. So it was like they kind of woke up, things just kind of got rolling. So, and Browning, he's played really well. It's just, it's hard to win games when you play like that, where you're literally doing nothing for the whole game. And then the last quarters when you start doing it. So, they play well enough. Same thing with the Vikings. You don't know what you're going to get those weeks. I mean, listen, Cincinnati, this is obviously back a few weeks, ended up beating the Niners. So it happens. It's just, it was a crazy game to see that kind of a scoring barrage at the end of the game.
I think that Bengals' arms are bigger than yours.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Woody got this.
Maybe. What do you think?
Woody got it right. Gene and I both got it wrong. Bryson got it wrong. Woody's the only one that gets a point on this one last week. So good call. I knew that hook was going to get me. I said it 3 times, and it just bit right down on me. The Colts, man, wow, the Colts blew the Steelers out. Let me say it again. The Colts blew the Steelers out. Hold on, I don't think I heard myself. No. 30-13. 30-13 is your number. They easily cover the number, and they go over by a point. Just barely going over. Really screwed up a lot of people that had this under. Joey, what do you think on the Colts? Are they real? What do you think?
I just like saying Gardner Minshew. I say that pretty much every show. And yeah, exactly. I mean, the problem is the Steelers defense has been ho-hum. Trust me, I had them in fantasy. I know they underperform pretty much every week. They had the first couple weeks they were doing really well, and then they just were pretty porous after that. Minshew, he has his moments. They play decent. The Colts have a decent team. It's just, I'm not going to expect Trubisky to do a whole lot on the Steelers for offense. And again, their defense is terrible. So kind of expected.
Yeah. Gene, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Indy might be for real. Like, will they make any noise after in the playoffs? Probably not. But they're for real as far as that team that will make it to the playoffs. They're definitely overperforming. I think that we all thought. Steelers are definitely underperforming. You're starting to see that little free fall from the Steelers now. You hope it doesn't cost the coach's job there. But Indianapolis, listen, they were down their top 2 running backs, and they still were able to run the ball down the Steelers' throat. So good, yeah, had a great game.
Yeah,
up front.
Welcome in Zippity Doo Dog, and Eric B says a last-second field goal killed his parlay. That sucks. I hate when that happens. Gene gets a point, and I get a point. We were both ones to get it right that week, so how about that? I'll take it. Denver and Detroit. The Lions put up 42 points. Blow the Broncos out. The Browns, good Lord. Said the wrong team there. Blow the Broncos out. 42-17. Broncos have been playing really well. Surprised me on this one. Game goes way over the total, which is one thing that I did call there. I picked this one dead wrong. I thought the Broncos would stay close. They didn't. Gene, what's your thought on this one?
Yeah, listen, I thought the Lions would bounce back. They needed to stay, not that they need to, but their division is pretty well handled. But I think just to kind of maintain winning ways, they needed to going into the playoffs. The Broncos, they're, you hear a lot of the rumors today on the radio and on a lot of the sports talk. Maybe Wilson's last year there in Denver. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought Detroit was going to come out pretty strong, stronger than I even thought. I didn't think it would be this big of a score. I mean, they almost put up the total on themselves.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that, but glad I got it right.
Good call on it. Joey, did you get a chance to see any of this one or just the highlights?
Yeah, trust me, I was paying attention because we had, obviously fantasy playoffs this week, and Carney's got Goff playing, who did nothing last week, and that throws 5 touchdowns. So as soon as this game was done, I was like, well, my season's pretty much over because there was nobody that was going to really perform like that. And Josh Allen certainly didn't. But yeah, I mean, I was expecting Denver to put up a fight here. Like they, especially as well as they've been playing.
Yeah.
In Detroit, it's weird. I know they're 10-4. Their record, they've been sliding a bit. I know they ended up winning this game. It was a huge blowout. I don't expect this was an anomaly to me. Like I don't expect them going deep. I know they're one of the better teams in the NFC, but I don't expect them going deep in the playoffs. I don't see them going on the road and winning. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But good game for them. Listen, Goff killed me though.
Yeah, he's a killer. He's a killer on this one. Just a crazy game overall. So just keep an eye on them and see what they do. I agree. I don't know about deep in the playoffs. We'll see. So on the Lions, Gene gets it right. Nice job, Gene. Woody, Bryson, and myself all got it wrong. Gene's the only one with a point this week on this game. Texas, welcome in. And also our good friend Jason Thibodeau is in-house as well. Yeah, we'll see. Interesting. Gene can talk about this one pretty good here because he was looking at it earlier in the thing and saying, what are these teams going to do? And you never know who's going to show up. And the Packers, well, they laid an egg at Lambeau, fell flat on their face. Buccaneers come in. I don't know how this quarterback for the Bucs keeps winning, but now all of a sudden, he couldn't do it in Cleveland, couldn't do it in Carolina. Now all of a sudden he can find his way. 34-20, they win easily to cover as a 3-point dog. Game goes over the total, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought it would be a little bit lower scoring game. Gene, what do you think about the Tampa Bay Bucs? Are they going to make some action in the NFC?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far they're going to go either, but listen, hey, that quarterback is playing well. I think he had a perfect, if I remember correctly, I think they said he had a perfect quarterback rating. And we're just seeing, listen, Love's still got some maturing to do on the field. He's not quite there yet. And, Packers they do have a young team. I'll give them that. They have a young team. So do they have time? They have a ton of time. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. So I don't think we've heard less of the Packers, but I don't expect them to really do too much more damage the rest of the season. And the Bucs, they could sneak in.
I mean, the only one to get it right this week is Woody getting a point. Ken, he's not here. He hides out whenever Green Bay loses. So Joey.
Yeah, it's Green Bay. It's you start to expect, especially sometimes they started to play better recently. So you expect, Love had actually started been playing decently. But again, still a young guy, kind of up and down a little bit. Baker's he's been playing well. I mean, he's I guess it's good to see that. I guess he resurrected his career somewhat in Tampa. Now, I don't know if he's going to be long term there, but he is for short term right now. They got some, the Bucs have some pieces. They got some players, defense and offense. And when he's playing like that, they can put up some points. And again, I don't know how deep they're going to go in the playoffs. They have holes for sure, but they're definitely a solid team. And he had a hell of a game on Sunday.
Yeah, he did. He stepped up and played. So the only point goes to Woody. Welcome in, Stephanie Keel. Thank you for joining tonight. Only point goes to Woody on that one. All right, let's start off with this one. The Giants with their they got their mobster quarterback. He got a wide awake down in Seattle. He had the Seattle voodoo coming down on him. 24-6, the Saint win. They easily covered. Game goes way under the total. Game here. Joey, start us up on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, DeVito came back down to earth on this one, man. He threw for like 170 something yards. The Giants are just not a good team. I know they have their games because they're still professionals. They get paid just like the rest of them, so they're going to have their games. But Carr had his way this game. Threw 3 touchdowns, no picks. Pretty dominant performance. But again, it's against the Giants, so it doesn't surprise me.
And New Orleans, it's on the road. The Giants do not play well on the road as well.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. Gene, any voodoo you saw in this game?
And this is why I hate the Giants, because I finally say Giants, and then they make me look bad. But you know what? It's karma. This is what happens. You know what? Tommy DeVito, I don't know if anybody heard the story when he did to the pizza place that he was supposed to make an appearance at. If anybody knows that story, go look it up. It's all over the internet. He was supposed to make an appearance.
About it.
Well, he was supposed to make an appearance at a pizza place. They made this deal before the Green Bay game. They beat Green Bay. And he's all of a sudden the talk of the town. His agent, who everyone is making a hero all of a sudden, calls the pizza place and says, "Hey, his fee for the thing has now doubled," and the pizza place had to back out of the deal after promoting it. So to me, that's bad karma. Bad karma. Bad job by Sean Stellano, the agent. That's all of a sudden thinks he's the coolest guy in the world. Bad karma, and this is what happens. And you saw a lot of those defenders on the New Orleans defenders when they would get a sack. What were they doing? They were doing the hand signal, so that, it just goes to show you, don't count your chickens. You just got here, man. Be cool. And he couldn't.
Agree.
I agree with that too. That's pretty wild on that. I didn't know that, but
yeah, it's a big story up here.
Messed up.
Woody gets a point. I get a point. Bryson gets a point. Gene does not get it. So it is what it is. Baker Mayfield grew up. Yeah, something happened. Something happened with him. Speaking of Carolina, there we go. Atlanta and Carolina. This was a game of 2 inept teams that couldn't do anything with it. You got a 9-7 score. Atlanta covers. Nope, they did not. They were -3. They lose outright. Carolina wins as a dog. We talked about Carolina might win a game somewhere along the way, and this turned out to be it. So Woody and Gene and Bryson were all right. I was the only one that decided to go on Carolina, and I ended up getting bent over a barrel. So, Gene, what did you see in Carolina made you want to take them?
I just thought, hey, this is going to be an ugly game. They're home against another ugly team. I feel like they're going to win another game somewhere along the lines. It just felt right. That's really all it was. I just thought it was going to be an ugly game. It just felt right. I thought they'd do just enough. And that's what happened. They did just enough. It was an ugly game. What was it, 9-7 or something like that?
Yeah.
Three field goals. 3 field goals all they got. And, it's leading to Ritter being benched again. Heineke will be starting next week for Atlanta. So it was just a feeling I had that it would be an ugly game and they would do just enough to get the win at home.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Is what it is, unfortunately, for the NFL to struggle that much, with it all, around there. Carolina doesn't have a lot of talent around their young quarterback, and Atlanta's got a lot of talent and doesn't have a quarterback that can make anything happen. Joey, what do you think? 9-7.
Yeah, this was a terrible game. Terrible statistically. It just wasn't even fun to watch. And listen, this is one of those games where somebody had to win, I guess. So if Carolina was fortunate to get out of it, both quarterbacks under 200 throwing. And you're right, Carolina doesn't have anyone around, Bryce Young, and Atlanta's got some players, but they don't have a quarterback. So you mix that together and you kind of get one of these 9-7 games. It's just, it's like pulling teeth to watch it. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So everybody gets a point but me. Am I the only one that's looking at the Carolina logo now, and it looks like a guy's got a cape on, saying, "Hey, come here, let me show you what's under my cape."
I don't see it.
That's pretty funny. You talking about the Atlanta one? It's pretty funny.
He's got a look on his face. He's like, "Hey, come here, let me show you what's under my cape." I don't think I can use that one anymore.
Oh, the Atlanta one. Oh, yeah, there's a cape there. Yeah,
he accidentally said Carolina. He meant Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Carolina logo, Sam. I don't see it.
I was so thrown off by the whole thing. It made me say the wrong thing. It really looks like a pervert there. Just say, "Hey, look at this." It's kind of scary. All right. Houston and Tennessee. Thank God there's no perverts over here. Houston and Tennessee. This was an interesting game as it played out. The Titans have been kind of up and down this year as they've gone through with everything. Houston, they've got a ton of talent building around it. They still put up 35 points together. 19-16. Houston covers the game outright. They were a 2.5-point dog going into Tennessee, which really surprised me if they were the dog in this. They just barely stay under the total, and they get the Houston outright win. So let's talk about this one. Gene, start us up.
Yeah, after the loss the week before to the Jets, and what were they thinking losing to the Jets, right? Who loses to the Jets, really? But, so I thought they'd bounce back. Tennessee, Tennessee was in this game. They played tough all game. They were up at one point. But yeah, Houston needed the win, and they needed it more than Tennessee. So I'm glad they got that win, puts them back there. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. But Tennessee, I don't know if Levis is the answer there. They got some work to do to figure some stuff out there in Tennessee.
Yeah, they do. Houston's coming along pretty good, Joey.
Yeah, the thing with the Titans, especially with the game last week with the Dolphins, and that epic collapse there in the last down up 2 scores with like 3 minutes to go. With Tennessee coming back like that, you figure they have a little bit of momentum. Levis actually played pretty well. I don't know what the story is going to be with him long term. I like his skill set though. I don't know. There's something about him that I do like about it. Very tough. I like him. He's got a real good arm. But yeah, they're just they still got some issues there. Is Henry still going to be there after the season? Which probably not. Texas, the Texans they're a fun team to watch. I know that Keenum played really well for them, I guess, and they definitely are. They're
one receiver with their guy going down.
Yeah, that's the problem. Some of the injuries have hurt them, but man, they were a fun team to watch. Stroud in there. It's just it's unfortunate they've gotten some of the injury bug a little bit.
Yeah.
But I really like the coach over there. Obviously, he was former 49er defensive coordinator. Real good. They got a good core coming. I know they're kind of up and coming, so they're a team that I like to watch.
Yeah. Texas Repo says their defense shut down Henry. Yeah, well, they did. A lot of people have this year, but they definitely stepped up and shut down. So everybody gets a point on this one. Everybody got this one right, 100% across the board. In the battle of teams that, this will be interesting. The Miami Dolphins put up 87 against the Jets, 87-0 on this one. Gene, I'm just going to let you start this one because I know you want to talk about the fact that the game went way over the total still, and the Jets, the Dolphins just barely covered. So.
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
We were all over. All of us were all over the total. This one's going over. This one's going over. Guess what? No. 30-0 is your final. It doesn't go over. We were all wrong on that. And Gene's got nothing to say. Joey, go ahead.
I mean, Dolphins got no Tyreek. It was disappointing because when you watch this game, Dolphins obviously, get a score. Jets get the ball 3 and out, score. And next thing you know, at this point, I think by the second drive for the offensive drive for the Jets, you kind of realize at that point the game was already over. Like it was just a matter of what's the total going to be for the Dolphins. I know that obviously Wilson didn't play well. However, the offensive line was atrocious that game.
Yeah.
Made the Dolphins defensive line look like world beaters. And not only was Wilson not playing well, he's also getting beat on. So it was one of those games like within the first quarter, you knew the game's over. It just sucked to watch.
I got a migraine right now.
Sorry, man.
Gene was sitting at home with his little Jets shirt on, little Jets hat going.
Jeez, I'm an idiot.
That's actually a soundbite from me on Sunday. That was me. You know what? I knew it when they tried to do the fake punt by running it up the middle. I knew it was already over. Listen. There's one thing I do when you're going to fake a punt. Do not run up the middle. That's where everybody's coming from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
I got nothing to say.
Just sit there and go.
Meow.
Yeah, just sit there and go that. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, the points there. Let me go back to that one, make sure I cover it. On the Dolphins, myself and Bryson, we got 2 points. Nice. We each got points. Woody and Gene stayed true to their teams. Good job, guys. At least you did that. The Brownies at home, not influenced by Monorail Molly on the thing or any of our other. We got a lot of Cleveland fans that come into our channel now. The Brownies were at home. Joe Flacco has been impressive, more impressive than I thought he would be, to be honest with you. After that first game when he played the first week, I thought there's no way he does nothing. They pull out a last-second field goal. It was actually some nice drives in this game from both teams towards the end of the game trying to keep it in there. The Bears were +3, which means it's a push all the way around, so nobody gets any points on this. They did go way over the total here. They didn't by a half point. Ooh, I thought it was 31.5 when I looked up there for a minute. So this game goes under by a half. Flacco, is he impressing you, Joey? What do you think?
I mean, listen, for coming off the couch, throwing 370, yeah. I mean, he also threw 3 picks. I know nobody wants to talk about that. Justin Fields threw 2 as well, so this was just a turnover fest from both teams. I'm sorry, but generally when you throw that many picks, you're going to lose the game. But this is the Bears we're talking about and the Browns, and you just never know what's going on. Big rivals. It was kind of one of those crazy games back and forth. But yeah, Flacco's done pretty. I mean, listen, Flacco's been around a long time. He knows how to play the position, and he's serviceable, no question. So the Browns have a decent record. Are they going to go far in the playoffs? Probably not. But it is pretty neat to see when these guys get called off the couch and they just start playing, man. So trust me, I have really bad flashbacks from Flacco from years ago. All right.
Here's a good question. I'll let you guys each answer. Gene, you can go first. Can Flacco lead the Browns to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years?
Sure. I think so.
Well, it's not the first time in 20 years.
I'm just going by
Browns. Browns have been to the play. They were in the playoffs a couple years ago. Jets had the longest of any sport.
They were Baker, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they went with Baker.
Yeah.
Jets have the longest streak. 13 years is the longest streak in all 4 sports. So, Browns have been there. What I think Flacco can do though is, listen, with a decent offensive line, and they have a good offensive line. Flacco is still serviceable if you have a good offensive line because he's going to be a statue back there. He's not going to be able to move around. He's not going to be able to elude a rush. But if you have a good offensive line, he's going to be able to pick apart some teams. And he's found a nice comfort with Njoku. He had a big game last week. He had a good game the week before.
Right.
There's no reason why they can't do good against teams with weaker defenses with their offensive line.
Their defense can keep them in games too. They got a good defense.
Great defense.
They do.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough. It'll be interesting to see. Molly says, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Joe Flacco said the way he's getting away from, the pressure, because he's not a runner. He says the way he was, they interviewed him. He said,
I'm going to be all lubed up.
He says he's going to be all lubed up, and that's the way he's going to get away. So
it's working.
It worked for him last week. He drove him down the field, man. I got to give him credit. Oh, let's see who got that right, by the way. I jumped off of there. I got it right. Took the Brownies. Everybody took the Browns. 4-0. Everybody gets a point for the Browns last week. Kansas City and the Patriots. This one, everybody's talking about Bill Belichick's going to be gone. They ought to be talking about Andy Reid needs to figure out what the heck's going on in Kansas City because they've got a great defense, but their offense is horrible. I actually talked to Kelly about that the other day, and he didn't know what to say. New England, the Chiefs, it's a 27-17 victory. It's not as overpowering as the score would sound as a 10-point victory. They had kind of struggled to get it. They do cover the 9.5. Game goes over the total to 44-37. Gene, Kansas City and the Patriots, what do you think?
I know what Kansas City can do to make their offense instantly better. cut Kadarius Toney. Another drop that leads to another pick. He alone is a self-destruction button on that offense. He really is. It's like every single week, it's like he does another bonehead play. But listen, they need to figure something out. I think they need a receiver. I think you're going to see them probably draft a receiver this year. They need something. Everyone thought Sky Moore was going to be the answer last year, and he hasn't been it at all. They need someone to complement Travis Kelce, because as long as you can work on Travis Kelce, that the rest of the offense is easy to shut down. They are dealing with some Pacheco is banged up, so that doesn't help either. But listen, winning by 10 points against New England, as you saw, they did it playing half what they really are. They came in there banged up, not playing well, and they were still able to win by 10 against New England. That just shows you really not how great Kansas City is, but really the ineptness of New England.
Yeah, they're rough. Joey, did you see any of this game?
Yeah, the things, and Tony's obviously been a big issue, for KC and stuff. And, quite frankly, they just don't, you're starting to see now where it's starting to affect them, especially offensively. Yes, they have a really good defense. It's starting to affect this where, at first you lose Tyreek Hill, it didn't seem to matter. And then you get some injuries, and then like Kelce drops a ball, or he's not quite, maybe he has some injuries where he's playing, but he's not quite 100%. And then protection's not as good. Patrick Mahomes starts turning the ball over, or you have a couple games where they probably could have or should have won the game, where you get players like Tony, like making these weird drops and all kinds of boneheaded plays. They're kind of in a funk right now. And they got some missing pieces on offense. Even the mighty Patrick Mahomes is struggling without a lot of help around him, which would happen to pretty much any quarterback. I don't care how good you are. It's just the way it goes. And you're just seeing the effects of it. New England is a dumpster fire right now. So I don't care about them.
Is Belichick there next year?
I don't think so. Maybe he's over in or where do you think where did they say he's gonna go? I know they were talking about a team.
LA's a perfect fit.
LA.
Everybody keeps saying LA, Washington.
It makes sense. I mean, maybe.
LA, Washington. Or shut up, Sheen. Or Raiders, maybe. So I don't know. Sheen, what do you think?
I really think where he'll end up, I don't really know, because who can ever really get into the mind of Belichick? He's as he said last week when he was they asked him 10 times in a row, and every time he said, "We're on to Kansas City." But I really think the best place for him is LA, is the Chargers. He's got a quarterback already. He can bring the guy can't coach as a head coach, but boy, is McDaniel a really good offensive coordinator. Get up, team up with McDaniel again. Go to LA, and you know what? The one thing Belichick can do is coach a defense up. They already have pieces on that defense. The fact that defense is horrible is beyond me, because there are pieces on paper. If you look at that team on paper, their defense is excellent. And they already have the quarterback. They got the receivers. They got the running backs. They got a decent line. Maybe you add a lineman or two, but there's no excuse that team isn't one of the top teams in the conference every year with the pieces that they have. Mm-hmm. I think Belichick can help bring a winning culture there. And that's why I think the only thing they need is the culture, because the names are there.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. All right, well, the Chiefs cover the 10, so points for Gene, Woody, myself, and no points for Bryson, and that's where we got that there. Welcome into Jeff Condon. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining. Speaking of Washington, shut up, Gene. Speaking of them, the Commanders, they were out there on the road in Los Angeles. I didn't think they'd do as well as they did. They still didn't cover anything. Rams cover the 6.5. They win by 8, 28-20. Game stays under the total by just a hair. Joey, start us up on the Rams and Commandos. Are you going Commando, and are these guys doing anything? What do you think?
Listen, the Rams are not the same team they were 6 weeks ago. I know we got to play them. The Niners, I got to play them again in a couple weeks. I know they got to come out to Santa Clara for that, but they are playing. Listen, obviously they have a really good coach. They still got good pieces. Stafford, they're really good. They have a lot of talent on that team. I know they were a big time down year last year, and even early on this season, but they're playing. I mean, the last 6 games or so, they're on a hot streak. So they're playing really well, and the Commanders are not. So this game here, I had the Rams all day on this. It just, the Commanders, and I like Sam Howell, they're just all over the place. So they need a whole change. I mean, obviously they were on a fire sale recently, getting rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat and all that other stuff. So you knew they were already basically mailing it in already.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gene goes commando a lot. You didn't this time. You went with the Rams.
No, listen, the Rams. I think if you go to the beginning of the season, I think we all expected the Commanders to be a pretty decent team this year in a tough division, but pretty decent. And I think we all thought the Rams were going to be pretty much, right down at the bottom with Phoenix, with Arizona.
Yep.
And the exact opposite has happened. I think the Rams are playing tough. They're getting good coaching. Stafford's playing like it's not the end of his career. He's playing really, really well. I had a good feeling about this week just because of the way they aren't playing. Washington's not playing how you thought they would, and LA is playing better than we thought they would. And you know what? It's nice to see them kind of continue this run. But at the end of the day, it's the 49ers division and it's their conference. So I don't know if it really matters, but it's fun to see them playing well, especially with some young players like Buka and seeing Stafford still have a nice run.
Yeah, they're gonna give a little trouble out there. I don't think they've got enough to do a full run to me, but I think they'll create a little havoc. Points on the board go to Gene, myself, and Bryson. Gene, myself, and Bryson on this one. In the battle of nipples and nuts, here we go. Right here. Joey's going to lead us off and tell us why the 49ers are the best thing to come along since chocolate candy. They won 45-29. And Joey, go at it.
So Arizona's sneaky good. In case anyone that doesn't watch their games or have seen them, obviously they're NFC West, so I see them a lot.
They are
sneaky good. I understand. Remember, Kyler just got back. And I know Dobbs was doing really well when he was there. They are sneaky good. What I mean by that is if you don't pay attention with them, they'll beat you. And I know they only won 3 games. I get it. No, the game was never in doubt. And I know that there was never any point in me there that thought, oh, maybe Arizona's going to win this game unless you have a trap game. And it's just not going to happen. But they, they put up over 200 yards rushing. Like, it can happen. And obviously, the Niners were missing a few important pieces, especially on the interior tackles. You got Armstead and Hargrave, which are huge run stoppers. It's a major thing, especially keeping those offensive tackles off the linebackers and allows them to run. But, in the end, Murray was just running for his life a lot of the time. And it wasn't a whole lot of passing, but it was a lot of running. So it was just one of those things. But I'm telling you, they still got some decent players. So
I think if we go back in that closet, you got a Cardinals jersey back in there. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm thinking all of a sudden it's all kind of love every time you're on here for the Cardinals. I don't know. I have to keep an eye on it. Just because Emmett went there and left the Cowboys years ago, now you love the Cardinals. Joe, Gene, what do you think here? The Cardinals don't cover. San Francisco does cover the number. 47 was your total. San Francisco almost again this week. Another week that San Francisco almost puts up the total by themselves.
Yeah, I didn't think the Cardinals were going to win this game. I just thought they'd make it a little closer. I thought it'd be a little bit of a trap game for San Francisco. They have to go on the road next week to Baltimore. I thought this would be a game they'd be looking a little bit light on. And Arizona's played better, even though they don't have the wins to show it. They've played better at times. Plus Kyler coming back, I thought maybe they catch San Francisco sleeping a little bit, just enough to put a little to not lose by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But San Francisco is an unbeatable machine, and I don't know if they lose another game the rest of the season. Not just regular season, regular into post. I've told Joey already that I think this is the Super Bowl champion. I think it's done.
If they're healthy, and they play together, yes, I would say the same thing for them. They are that loaded of a team for sure. I got it right, and Bryson got it right. Gene and Woody got it wrong. I think Gene was afraid to go against Woody. Anything Woody said, Gene was like, "Oh, I'll take that." Yeah, he just followed him up the whole night. Said, he loved Woody. So let's see if he did it again over here. Yep, did it again over here. Dallas goes on the road to Buffalo. Dallas is horrible on the road this year, and they prove it once again. The Bills is an enigma team. One time they're good, one time they're not. You never know what's going to go on with it. I think sometimes that Josh Allen from the Jaguars is quarterbacking the Bills instead of the actual Josh Allen this year. But And this week, Buffalo shows up, easily covers the number. But the funny thing was, with all of this, still stayed under the total. Was a rainy game up there in Orchard Park area. Buffalo easily covered. Gene, started up. Bills beating us not out of the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys are just a different team on the road. They're all world beaters. They're bullies when they're up with a lead at home, but when they're on the road, they look so lost at times. This was Dak's worst game. I still think Dak's had a phenomenal season. I know me and Joey talked about, just was last week we were talking about, we both were saying that he's probably the MVP this year. But I don't know after this week. You know, Brock might have took that extra step because Dak did not play at all how an MVP needs to play. But they are just a different team on the road, and the Bills are desperate right now. So they are grasping at everything they can, and they're playing well at the stretch run.
Yeah,
might not be enough, but you know what? They're playing tough right now.
I don't think they have enough personally, but I don't know. What do you think, Joe? You think they got enough for a run?
Yeah, see, that's, and like you said before, they're kind of an enigma. You don't know what you're going to get with them. One week they're slapping Miami around, and then the next week they're getting blown out, and they're struggling to even get first downs. This game here, you know, Gene's right. Dallas, for whatever reason, and I guess maybe it's the turf in Dallas, they're a much faster team and they play fast that way, but it seems to be they can't play on the road, and when they're out there, like this game really, and Allen played well, but this was all about Buffalo running all over the Cowboys. They couldn't stop the run. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So yeah, it was ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. You know, the Cowboys, these are those types of games that create doubt, not just in Dallas fans, but in the Cowboys themselves. Micah Parsons, they can lie to themselves all they want, but this is the stuff that creates doubt. When you go against like the Niners and you get whipped, and then you go against like the Eagles, they destroy the Eagles, but we're starting to see the Eagles are not what everybody thought they were.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to Buffalo and they just completely wipe the floor with you. You start to wonder, are we even going to get out of the first round of the playoffs if we, you know, depending on what team we end up against. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Part of the problem is, the Cowboys don't do it enough. The 49ers are constantly doing it. They're sitting out there on the field going, "Hey,
you have to feel my butt. You have to feel my butt."
I mean, it's what Deebo Samuel does it, and apparently, that doesn't happen in Dallas. I don't know. In the battle of the team that Joey's going to lose to this week, and he's already acknowledged and given me credit because he told me before the game started. You see this awesome light that I have behind me here. Oh, it's not.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Let me light it. I just turned off my heater because I have it tied into my heater. We'll talk about these in just a second. Joey sent me these so everybody can see it here. It's going to light up.
Yeah, there it is.
It's going to light up in a second here. Come on, click in. There we go. Look at that.
There we go.
Lights
Look at that.
Normally, Joey said, "I'm giving you these in advance because I know we're going to lose. My team's horrible and your team's the best, and I love the Ravens." So he sent me those. Ravens go into Jacksonville. We got lucky in this one, guys. I thought if it was here's the difference. Quarterback for the Jaguars was hurt. That made a big difference. I think if it's a different game, if the health-wise is there, Ravens hold on. I'll give them credit. Ravens held on to win, 23-7 was your final. Win by 16. I still think they got a long road to go, but see what you guys think. Joey, you got them this week. How you feeling about coming all the way out here to Baltimore?
Well, listen, Baltimore's the 1 seed, and they've earned it. And yeah, this game here, there was a couple that, like, listen, Lamar.
Hold on, say that first line again. Molly didn't hear you.
Yeah, the Ravens are the 1 seed in the AFC. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm sure everybody should know that. If she doesn't, I know she doesn't want to hear that. And obviously they're gonna, and listen, they're obviously want to hold on to that, especially with Miami trying to chase them from behind. Every game Lamar does a couple things that are with some wow moments because that's just the kind of player Lamar is. Yeah. So as long as he's on the field and stays healthy, they always have a chance with him. He does some remarkable things, and it's always a couple plays throughout the game. But Baltimore's got a good defense. They have that tradition of doing that. Playing in Baltimore, I have concerns of the game. It's probably going to be cold, rainy, typical Baltimore type of atmosphere, type of game. We usually struggle, even though we were able to contain Hurts quite a bit. We tend to struggle against quarterbacks that scramble. And obviously Lamar is one of those guys. So, those always concern me. Kyler Murray got a bunch of yards this past week. So, that concerns me. But, Baltimore, I expected Baltimore to win this game. And I thought that the quarterback for the Jags, I know he was a little bit hurt. But some of his decision-making, I'm questioning whether he is going to be this messiah of quarterbacks that he was supposed to be coming out. So I don't know yet. I thought so. Now I'm not sure.
I got news for you Monday, which is Christmas Day. 52 degrees is a high, 41 is a low. It's not bad.
There you go. It's not bad. That's a balmy winter day there.
I'm still worried about the next two games. We've got San Francisco and Miami. Two incredibly tough teams. We could easily lose both of those games. Gene, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, listen, Baltimore's playing well. They've earned their spot. You're right. Lamar Jackson, you got to be happy, right? He's earning that money this year. At least this year he is. He's still got a couple more games to get hurt for the playoffs, but I think he'll be just fine. I don't think he will. I hope that the running game is going to still stay potent. They lost another really guy they found later in the season, Keaton Mitchell. It seemed like they found him, and just as they found him and unleashed him, he got hurt, right? I think they'll be just fine. And you know what? Next week's that's going to be the game of the week, man. It's really going to be a good one. If anybody can beat the 49ers, it's Baltimore.
Yeah. Baltimore's probably the last one.
I'm looking forward to calling that game. That should be the game of the week. So, points on here. Woody gets it. I get it. Gene gets it. Bryson. Everybody gets a point here. Welcome in, Mr. Fulton. Welcome in, T. Marie's place. Good to see you here. Last game of the week here. Let's look at this one. Philadelphia. The Eagles. They have been a wreck. Seahawks pull it out at home. Good job by a backup quarterback for the Eagles. How about that? They sit Geno Smith. They put in Luck. And they beat the Eagles. Man, they're struggling. Let's go, Gene, start this one out.
Yeah, you know what? Seattle's been playing tough at home, and it's always a tough place to play, right? I'd be honest with you. I honestly thought that Geno was going to be back this week. If I had known he wasn't, I probably would have picked the Eagles. I kind of got lucky on this one. So I didn't think Drew Lock was going to be starting. I thought it was going to be Geno Smith. But the Eagles, man, the Eagles are showing they got some wrinkles, and this may be they're kind of showing a blueprint on how to get beat. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joey.
Yeah, I know a couple weeks ago after the Niners played the Eagles and everybody got all mad at him when he said, I think we kind of put the blueprint out on them. And sure enough, they've lost every game since. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but I tell you what, I don't know if they broke them or what, but they've been struggling ever since. And it's not just, and I know the back end of the Eagles is horrendous. I don't care they're horrendous on the back end. The offense has been kind of crappy as well. I don't care what anybody says. They have been. They're struggling to score 17 points a game. It's pretty much that's what they've been. So unless they can hold teams like they did with Seattle to keep them kind of in that range, this is what happens. But you got Drew Lock. You allow him to go 92 yards in a minute 24 win the game. Yeah, and he threw a dot. He threw a couple of them. They did get fortunate with Metcalf's catch there on the thigh and all that stuff, but sometimes that's just kind of what happens. You get a lucky play, it happens. But ultimately they got a lot of things to fix, man. A lot of things to fix.
They had two incredible catches on that last drive.
I don't know if it's age catching up with him, but Bradbury has looked horrendous lately for the Eagles. He has looked horrendous. So I don't know if that's something that they got to fix, maybe, but he's not looked good at all. Bradbury.
It's been tough. All right, Paul, let's see how we did. How did everybody do this week? Paul Engel will give the numbers into the chat and tell us if we did good, bad, indifferent, horrible, good. I don't know how we did. I think I'm middle of the pack. Gene said he felt like he had a good week. Pete was 10-5. Gene was 10-5-1. There we go. Woody was 9-6. Bryson was 9-6. Joey went 0-16.
You got to let me pick at some point.
You didn't put your picks in. You get a loss every time. Every time you don't put one in.
Listen, I missed from last season. You would send out the picks every week, and then we would send picks even if we weren't there. That was always fun to do. I know it was tough to. Yeah, that was always fun.
Yeah, we need to do that next year. I know Joey. Every time I sent him his picks, he would say, "Hey."
See, look at this.
Grill master.
Look at Mickey's wiener. It's not like filled in.
It's not filled in.
It's not filled in. It's not filled in.
We all had a good week this week, though.
Yeah, that's a good week.
Yeah, look at that. Everybody had a good week.
I didn't realize everybody had a good week. I didn't realize I went 10-5, to be honest with you. So
Nice bounce back
Yep.
week, Pete. Nice bounce back week.
yeah, after I was horrible, Joey. I was horrible the week before. I got spanked by the nun. I was like 2 and something.
Oh, I saw. Trust me, I watched the show.
I was horrible, horrible. So
It happens sometimes.
well, we'll be back tomorrow night. We're gonna pick. We'll pick week 16 tomorrow night. You'll see both these gentlemen back. I'll fill the other 2 spots. I don't know who it's gonna be. I'll make some phone calls tomorrow in the morning and see who's available. We'll get some people in here and pick out week 16. Some good games, interesting games. Obviously, the game of the week is the 49ers and the Ravens. I'll be curious to see what the line is on that. I haven't looked at it this week.
Last I saw, it was 5.
5?
Yeah.
Baltimore's -5?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow, Baltimore's favored.
No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
No, it's 5 in the Niners' favor.
I was going to say.
But that's gonna. It's only Tuesday. It's gonna change. You know that.
Yeah, it'll fluctuate. It depends where the money goes.
Yep. Wherever the money goes.
Yeah, but it's -5 on the Niners.
I'll pick up the phone and call the guy from the Giants agent and see what's going on.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
get a show up at a pizza parlor, man.
You know, if that quarterback comes out and sucks again this week, I might be able to get that guy on the show as a guest.
Yeah, I might. Yeah.
I don't
Why
want
would
to
you?
play
Why would you do that though, man? That's like you're brand new. You just got here. Why would you not?
Big game
Oh,
against Green Bay. Well, let me tell you what the radio has been saying in New York. After the Green Bay game, you literally had people saying, "I think he's our franchise quarterback."
Oh my God!
New York Giant fans are so delusional. They were actually saying Tommy DeVito's our franchise quarterback. That's what they were saying after Green Bay. And I'm, listen, that's how Giant fans are. Whatever, but for him to do that, and so the pizza place, he goes, well, we never really had a written contract. The pizza place goes, we had an agreement of principle, and then posted the actual text conversation with the agreement for it was for $10,000 for 2 hours, and then they tried upping it to $20,000. They doubled it, and he goes, here's the text chain of us agreeing to $10,000. So the guy tried to get funny. He thinks he's on top of the world, and you know what? The week before, everybody loved him. And this week not so much. I don't even know if I blame the kid. I think I blame the agent for it.
He's
he
not
doesn't really know.
Not really an agent. I think he's one of the guy's buddies that he grew up with. Hey, you want to be?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, come back tomorrow. Hang out with us. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. It's always a lot of fun. Thank you to Paul Engel for tracking everything. All of my moderators for being here tonight. What's up, Goop? Welcome in at the last minute. Texas Repos, so many other friends hanging out here with us. We appreciate you. It's been a fun night. We'll see you tomorrow night on the show. As we do it all then. Good night, everybody.